Stay tuned if you want to find out how to do your first ever 48-hour fast. You're looking to get into fasting, and you've come to the right place. Stop for a hike, baby Ainsley, a couple of dogs. And I thought I would give you the knowledge and wisdom I've acquired over the years of how to do your first 48-hour fast. Now, there's multiple components to this. If you are thinking about fasting, the benefits are plentiful. Let me be clear. Fasting is different than nutrition. Fasting trumps any type of nutrition plan, flat out, no doubt. When you combine the two, which I've talked about nutrition in other videos, you can really achieve some amazing, amazing things, which you can do with 48-hour fasting. For most people, that's all they're going to need with some other fasting. But I'm talking specifically about a 48. Now, fasting for 48 hours. Why would you do that? Well, most people know intermittent fasting, which is like a 14 to 16, 18-hour fast. I did that for 5 years before I created the Panda Diet for selfish reasons. And I was greatly surprised at the simplicity and the results. So be clear that if you're doing intermittent fasting, it is not even in the same realm as long-form fasting. So don't say, oh, I've tried it, it didn't work. Nonsense. I typically start people out with the 48-hour fast so that they build their confidence and they knock out any fear that they might have in regards to long-form fasting. So let's talk about the mechanics of what you can have during your 48-hour period. Then I will tell you about some of the nutrition. What should your feast look like? And then I'll go into the mindset, because that's the key. That'll be at the end of the video for you. So during your fast, I like to go Sunday night to Tuesday night. I've been doing that for over 6 years straight, minus the odd holiday or vacation. So on average, because I do longer fasting than that, I've been eating less than 6 meals per week for almost 6.5 years now. You ain't gonna melt away. You ain't gonna lose muscle. Don't believe any of that nonsense. During your fast, we're talking about a water fast. Hey, baby. Now, during your fast, you can have water, which we call the juice. That's when you have salts in your water. And there's a lot of great supplements out there. My boy BK has the juice, dragon juice. There's other ones. You can make your own. Celtic sea salt. You can use Baja Gold. You can use Redmond's. Put 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon of sea salt, baking soda, and potassium salt, and 32 to 48 ounces of water. Do that at least twice a day. Most people are greatly deficient in sodium. Even if you weren't fasting, and I have clients that don't fast, I would recommend that. Performance benefits, health benefits of sodium are off the charts. Best supplement there is on this place called Earth. You can have coffee. Drink it black. It only go in 2 days. It's not going to kill you. You can have tea. Now, I like to be strict on my fasting as far as not doing bone broth, but they're all fallbacks we can go to if you're going to do this ongoing and you need a little crutch, such as bone broth. Believe it or not, there's other workarounds with physical food. I'm not going to talk about that here. Now, you're going to get some slight hunger pangs. Hunger, you have to think of as an emotion. They'll go away. You got to go back to, why are you doing this in the first place? Why are you embarking on this? When you feel that hunger pang come, which will only last a minute or two, unless you focus on it, what you focus on expands, it'll go away. When you feel it, you got to remind yourself, this is what fat loss feels like, so you turn it into a positive. But this is what cellular cleansing feels like. This is what deep, optimal health feels like. Reframe it. Stay busy, drink the juice, keep moving. When you wake up the second day, you're probably going to feel fantastic. You're going to pop out of bed. You're going to find that you probably don't need as much sleep when you're fasting. The fasting is doing a lot of detoxification work. Most people are only getting some detoxification when they're sleeping. Big part of what goes on when we sleep. So that's it, right? So now let's talk about, how do you break the fast? Now, I differ than many out there that teach fasting in many, many ways with my protocol. So many people try to make it so it's still a diet and you still got to not spike insulin, which is just stupid. They don't understand insulin. I've got other videos on that for you to peruse. So, here you go, baby. Trying to multitask for you guys. Hey, it gets tricky with 4 young children, 2 puppies, and the old man right there, Dax. Nonetheless, I want to get this out to you guys. So when you first do this, as I have in my best-selling book, The Panda Diet, I break down on page 66 what I did in the early days of this. Now, I vary slightly now because I've been doing it so long, but this is what you do. Some chicken stock, ease your stomach. Chicken stock or bone broth. Do a cup of that. Then you go into fruit. What kind, how much, doesn't matter. Then you have your feast. Now, when you get to the feast, the fruit is part of the feast. It's your appetizer. You're probably going to be surprised that your appetite is not raging like you probably thought it would be. Part of this is breaking the chains and the bondage to the old way of dieting, the North American way of dieting that's taught by so many fake fitness experts out there. And this is why the results are just terrible with regular dieting. Because these people keep teaching it, and if it doesn't work, well, you must be lying about your caloric intake. You must not be following what I'm telling you. You must be carb sensitive. It's all nonsense, guys. But the main portion of your feast, try to stick with anything that came from the earth. Vegetable, some good carb sources. I love potatoes and rice are my main go-tos. Devin made pasta tonight, so I'll be feasting after strength and conditioning. And then, if you still feel like you need something, I do something called overnight oats, which I always pre-make. So mine is sitting in the fridge right now. I'll do oatmeal packets, sometimes regular oatmeal, raw milk, or oat milk, depending on the time of year, depending on what I'm trying to do with my body comp. So I want to really drive it down. Then it will be oat milk. Because I'll keep my fat intake low. And that's part of the more advanced nutrition, which is very simple, but that's a secondary arm of this Panda Diet. But you could have your oats. You're going to feel like you're stuffed probably. You didn't overdo it. Your body's got to acclimate to this. Go for a 10-minute walk when you're done, a brisk walk. For further help with, especially if you do this consistently, your insulin sensitivity. Then you go to sleep. Now, before you go to sleep, you're probably going to notice that you might have to run to the bathroom. Your gut has to get used to this new rhythm, and there's a lot of cleansing that has to go on. Most people have so much stuck crap in their intestines, literally, they're full of S-H-I-T. You probably are as well. So you keep that in mind. But you might have to run to the bathroom. You might get diarrhea. There's nothing wrong. That could go on for a while when you break these longer fasts. It will go away. Any of the negative symptoms, for lack of a better term, cold hands and feet that you might get from long-term fasting, go away over time. But there's nothing wrong. Now, as promised, it's about the mindset. That's the foundation of this. There's some reframing. I already told you about the hunger. Realize, too, that food is a drug. Affects the internal, biochemical, and hormonal environment of the body. That's the definition of a drug, guys. I defy anyone to tell me that food is not a drug with an actual logical explanation. So I haven't seen one yet. But here's the biggest piece. Part of the reason it's the Panda Diet. Part of the reason the Panda really stuck out to me as far as when I was naming this was black or white. The word decision means to sever, to cut yourself off from any other possibility. You look at the mind mapping tools that I use, we have to eliminate willpower as much as possible. When you leave the gray area, which is your emotions and your feelings, on the table, and you're a slave to them, and you try to use willpower does not work. You're probably not going to succeed. So if you go into this, let me see how I feel when I get to Monday night. And I have a lot of people do that. And finally, they learn, all right, I can't go based on my feelings because you're going to eat. Your willpower shot at that point, but you haven't cemented the decision. So that's really it. It's black or white. You take the gray area off the table. No other possibility. And guys, there's millions and millions of people that have to go because they don't have a choice a day or 2 or 3 or 4 without food all the time, all over the world. And they're probably a lot healthier than you. So that is a big mindset piece. It's black or white, decision, to sever, based in Latin. Cut yourself off from any other possibility. But that's how you do your first 48-hour fast. Then celebrate it. As I said, in my best-selling book, The Panda Diet, I go over all this. I go over what to do the rest of the week. I go over all of that and then some. So I hope you like that. Let me know if you try a 48-hour fast and your experience. If you have questions, post them below. If you like this, like it. And don't forget to subscribe. Later, guys.